My stoner roommate who looked broke AF turned out to be a secret millionaire's kid. I was in college and had a friend who was a bit of a slob. He wore the same clothes for days, didn't shower often, and his room was a mess. He was also a bit of a stoner. He was a nice guy, but I didn't think much of him. One day we were talking about our plans after graduation. I mentioned that I was going to work for a few years before going to grad school. He said he was going to graduate school right away. I asked him how he was going to pay for it, and he said his parents were going to pay for it. I was surprised, but I didn't think much of it. A few months later, we were talking about our plans for the summer. I mentioned that I was going to work at a camp. He said he was going to Europe for the summer. I asked him how he was going to pay for it, and he said his parents were going to pay for it. I was starting to get suspicious. A few weeks later, we were talking about our plans for the future. I mentioned that I wanted to buy a house someday. He said he was going to buy a house right after graduation. I asked him how he was going to pay for it, and he said his parents were going to pay for it. I finally asked him if his parents were rich. He said, yeah, they're pretty well off. I asked him why he didn't tell me sooner. He said, I didn't want you to think I was a spoiled brat.